Advocacy Council.
Good Tuesday morning, Jonesboro. This is meteorologist Tim Root with your KLEK 102.5 FM weather. Lots of clouds today and tonight. Chance of a few showers today, maybe a thunderstorm tonight. The high around 83 and the overnight temperature near 70. South wind 10 to 15. Clouds, showers, and thunderstorms expected Wednesday and Wednesday night. Probably a few more on Thursday. The temperature Wednesday near 80, and it'll be around 75, 76 Thursday with those showers and thunderstorms. Your life, your music, we're KLEK 102.5 FM.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Opposition leader in Venezuela, Juan Guaido, says he has military support for a final phase of his efforts to bring down President Maduro. Japan's Emperor Akihito has declared his abdication, the first monarch in the country to do so in over 200 years. Mumbai's posted its highest voter turnout in decades as India's weeks-long parliamentary elections continue, and the University of Cambridge in the UK is to investigate its own historical links with slavery.
It's 9:01.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Tuesday to you. I hope that you're having a great start to your day. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. My special guests today are from the University of Arkansas Division of Agriculture, Research, and Extension. We're just going to say Extension Office to keep it short for the rest of the show. And they are Miss Carlena Adams and Miss Maleigha Cook, and Miss Maleigha is from 4-H actually though, so we'll get into some 4-H discussion as well. So Miss Carlena is here, and under U of A there's a program called FNEP. Some time ago I had Miss
Kim?
No.
Jerry
Nelson.
Jerry Nelson.
She was a part of the program, but she moved on, and so she would come and do, her and Tyler would come and do our nutrition discussion. So now we have Miss Carlena, she's going to be hopefully a regular guest to keep us up to date on some nutrition information and how to shop and cook on a budget and all that good stuff. And so FNF actually stands for Expanded Food and Nutrition Education Program. And you have actually been trying to get into a lot of different entities like schools and churches and other groups that will allow you to come in, but we'll get into that. But first I would love for you to please introduce yourself and tell us how long you've been with U of A or this program or in Craighead County period.
Okay. Well, my name is Carlena Adams, and I've been actually in Craighead County for 25 years.
Okay.
Moved here from Newport, not very far down the road. And but I've been with the U of A Extension Office for a year and 5 months.
Oh,
so
okay.
Kind of still a newbie, but got it all under my belt. Doesn't take long to get thrown in the fire and keep going.
Yes.
But we've been with the FNET program. That was my first adventure into nutrition and cooking on this level.
Okay.
I've been doing it for a long time, but just on the education level.
Okay. So before you got into it on the education side, what were you doing concerning cooking, I guess?
Concerning cooking, just cooking at home and for all the boys and all the kids. And
she's an amazing cook.
Just and at school, I'm volunteer at school and doing things, so just on that level.
All right. And if you follow their Facebook page, you will see all the wonderful meals they cook in their office, and it's you also while you're posting meals and you're saying you're saving money, you're also sharing recipes. You're helping people to kind of see what's possible through the week. How you can take everyday items, just budget items, and make a really great, nutritious, and delicious meal.
Right.
All right. So let's talk about the FNET program itself and where you are and like how many agencies. Oh, I don't say agencies, but how many groups or people. I apologize. I don't know how to classify
Our
it.
program is so unique, so it's really kind of hard to classify. So, in the state of Arkansas, there is an extension office in every county.
Okay.
However, every county does not have an FNET program. So, we're very fortunate in Craighead County to have that. There's only 17 counties that have an FNET program.
Okay.
There's just a couple in Northeast Arkansas. The Craighead has one. Whatever county Corning is in has one. Clay County, and then Crittenden County has one.
Okay.
Or no, not Crittenden, Mississippi.
Okay.
Mississippi County has one. So just a few of us around here, and so that makes like 5 of us who are trying to reach out and reach all of the audiences.
Wow.
So we have a great task before us, and what we are doing is our audience is mainly you have to have children, or we're preparing meals for children.
Okay.
Because we are grant funded. We're grant funded by the USDA.
Okay.
So, and that's why there's so few of us around the state, because they want to make sure we get to the right areas that need the help. And so we focus on children, families with children, and low income, low resource. So, but anybody can also participate in our program.
Okay, and so when you go to, once someone allows you in, say, whether it's home or school or church or whatever the setting is, do you have a curriculum outline, say, lesson 1 through lesson whatever? Like, give us a rundown of your program.
Okay, so we have 9 lessons.
Okay.
And to graduate our program, and you get a certificate when you graduate, you have to complete at least 6 of the 9 lessons. And we can also do makeup lessons, or I can mail them if we need to. But the lessons are, number 1, welcome to eating smart, being active. That's the curriculum that we use. 2 is get moving. It's talking about exercising and bringing physical activity in, along with eating nutritious. Number 3 is plan, shop, save. That seems to be real popular. That's the couponing and how to shop on a budget and use what you have to make a meal. You know, we can look in your cabinet and make a list and say, okay, this is what we can make.
Okay.
Fruits and lesson 4 is fruits and veggies. Make those half your plate, because we work off of the My Plate. And we'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
And then number 5 is make half your grains whole. Number 6 is go lean with protein. Number 7 is build strong bones, which of course is about getting more calcium in our diet. Okay. Number 8 is make a change, and that's like how to make small changes to improve your diet. And number 9 is celebrate. That's our graduation, and we kind of have a little extra on celebrate.
Do you feel when you start with your lesson plan, do some people feel intimidated as in, I can't do this, because they're stuck in a certain mindset or behavior pattern for so long, and they feel either one, I can't, or one, I don't want to.
If after they get there the first lesson, they don't feel that way.
Okay.
It's getting people to start, because everybody does have that mindset, and they're scared and like, I can't do this, it's so overwhelming. But we make it so fun and easy, and it's very laid back, that after they go through the first lesson, they find, oh, I can do this. This is fun, and it's nutritious. And we test out all the recipes before we use them, and we don't cook anything that doesn't taste good. And we do a recipe at every lesson.
That's awesome. Now, concerning the one with the vegetables, make them half your plate. You know, a lot of parents talk about kids are picky eaters. My kid won't eat this. If my kid sees it, they won't eat it. But do you talk about ways to camouflage the vegetables? Yes,
we have, and actually worked with a daycare this past summer, and she's a home daycare, and she started showing us how she incorporated that to. So we talk about how you can hide vegetables in like sauces and cut them up real fine, or saute them down a little bit before you, so there's not the crunch, you know, for certain vegetables. Or but yes, how to hide them or make them yummy, and incorporate them like in a quesadilla or a casserole. And you'd be surprised how easy it is to hide them in there.
I would do that with my son as he was growing. He would say he didn't like a certain thing. If he saw it, he definitely wouldn't eat it. But once, like you said, chopped it up real fine or put some sauce or something, mix it, and he didn't realize he ate it. Now, do you also, concerning vegetables, I know that there's other recipes on the dessert side. So do you also try to introduce those type of recipes that are still nutritionally balanced, but, on the sweeter side?
Yeah, we all have a sweet tooth. Us as Americans especially, we are,
Yes.
if you ever visit another country, there's not the sweets around that we have here in America. And we love our sweets. I don't want to give up my sweets either. But yes, we do incorporate like substituting honey for sugar and some sweeteners. You can also substitute applesauce for oil sometimes to make them a little better. So we teach how to incorporate the different ingredients, and you still get the great taste and texture, and you really don't know that it's a different. We've served them at the office, some of the recipes, and then the ag guys that are in there, they're farmer type guys, and they just eat it right up and
they never know
the difference. So if you can fool a farmer guy, you can.
Yeah, that's a win-win.
They're a much tougher audience than children, I can assure you.
They're probably meat and potato kind of guys.
Yeah,
All right, so let's talk about the budget. Basically eating on a budget, cooking and shopping, and I know that's a big challenge for a lot of just Americans, period. They feel that, after I pay rent, utilities, I really don't have much left for groceries, and then a lot of people are not able to have access to the government the programs, SNAP or whatever else is out there. And sometimes, yes, there are the food banks, but sometimes they give you things that you don't always have the you get the non-perishable items, but sometimes people need those other items, milk and bread and eggs, or to make the stuff that's not perishable. So how do you approach the shopping on a budget, and kind of using basically bargain shopping, looking at the price per unit and things of that nature?
It's very intimidating when you first look at it. I know I used to be scared, and then when people talked about couponing, the TV show Extreme Couponing, we don't teach that. However, we do teach how you can incorporate coupons and easy ones like digital ones. Everybody's got a phone, smartphone. And we also have an app that you can download. It's called Eating Smart Being Active. It has lots of recipes.
What is it called again?
Eating Smart Being Active.
Okay.
And it also has the price calculator in there, so you can actually, as you're standing there in the grocery aisle, I do it all the time, you can, because you'll see 2 cans of green beans, and they're different sizes, and one may look like a better deal, but is it really the better deal? So you can see which one you're actually getting more money for. And also in our Plain Shop Save List, and we can actually go to the grocery store as an individual with you or in a group, and we can walk through and say, this is how you can, and you can meal plan and pick your recipes. Well, I know I'm going to make things with bell peppers this week, and I can do it in 2 different recipes, so I'm not wasting. Because a lot of times we also throw away things that are perishable, but they expire, or especially fruits and vegetables, they go bad before we use them up. So, and we talk about also how you can cut them up and freeze them and save them for later. And
I was going to ask you about that.
All kinds of different things, and even not with fruits and vegetables, like rotisserie chicken. You can take a rotisserie chicken and you can make so many meals out of it, and then you can boil the bones and stuff, and you can make broth, chicken broth, so you don't ever have to buy chicken broth. So you can just take that one $5 rotisserie chicken and spread it out over like 4 meals.
Oh my goodness.
So just different ways, or like hacks or simple hints that you can just stretch everything that you use. And it's not overwhelming or hard, just takes just a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of, if you see someone do it, then you can learn to incorporate it.
And do you try to encourage the families to incorporate the children in the planning, cooking, the prepping, shopping process?
Yes. Well, because, it's, children learn by what they see. And so if they see mom or dad just throwing junk or processed foods in the cart, then when they get to college or high school or working on, that's what they continue to shop and eat, the frozen pizzas or the convenience items that aren't really filling their belly up. They're just not nutritiously. And so, yes, we do encourage the kids to, and then when we do the school programs, we tell them, go to the grocery store with mom and dad and ask them to pick out one fresh fruit for you to try this week. So we encourage the kids to also put the bug in Mom and Dad's ear. Hey, the lady at school told me to. And so I've actually seen kids in the grocery store that came over and pulled their parents over to me. That's the lady that. And so gotten a chance to further talk to parents. And so.
You know, that can be an educational moment, a fun and educational moment. Me and Brandy from the library always talk about ways to make educational moments fun and vice versa. So while they're in the store, they can be learning how to read labels, learning what different items are, especially with the fruits and vegetables. They may have the sticker with the little code, but they might not have the name on them. So the child could be learning names and colors and how to spell and, you know, just a variety of things.
It's a whole educational trip.
Yes. And so I just would love to encourage the parents or caregivers to take that extra time or go to the grocery store when you're not so stressed and rushed. No, speaking on that, do you try to also encourage the families you talk to, like, plan out your grocery shopping time?
Yes. We do encourage making lists, and actually one of our incentives, with each lesson when you come, you get an incentive or a gift. And one of our lists is actually a grocery list. It kind of makes it easy. It has categories, you know, fruits, vegetables, meats, and so it kind of keeps you on task of what you need at the grocery store and not just go through just, you know, impulse purchasing. But yes, we talk about the list and what to buy, and, you know, and also if you have older kids, you can take that list and say, okay, you go find these things and bring them back to the cart. And that can save you time, and, you know, saving time is money.
Yes, ma'am. Look, I know for me, when I was, you know, really going shopping, my son was younger, it was like, okay, I'm going in for this. I'm out. Like, I don't like to do a lot of people for a long period of time. So I want to get in and get out.
And we teach, you know, how to plan your trip through the store to make it, you know, if you have a certain store you go to, you can kind of plan your route through there and avoid the impulse things, you know, the outskirts of the stores where they put the things that look like they're on sale, but they're not really on sale, like the end caps and
yes, ma'am.
They look great, but they're really not the best deal. So how to shop the inner aisles and get through quickly.
And then concerning, you know, shopping the inner aisles versus the outskirts, do you talk about how the outskirts are where your better choices are versus more so in the inner aisles? It's the box, canned, processed, high carb, high salt, you know, preservatives.
The canned things. So fresh is always the best. And then if you can't get fresh fruits, or you're not going to use them all up in a timely manner, you want to go to the frozen food section because they are usually picked, processed, and quick frozen, so they're not, you know, full of salt or preservatives. And you can also, you know, the packages, you can just take a little bit out and keep it in the freezer. And then from frozen, if you have to canned, which ones to pick, and then how you can rinse your vegetables. You know, you can dump the water out of them because that's usually full of salt, and then rinse them before you consume them.
Now, when it comes to, say, fresh versus frozen, things of that nature, do you talk about which fruits or vegetables are better frozen, that can be frozen and thawed and used, and then which ones you just can't, that don't do well being frozen?
There are actually not very many that don't do well frozen. So you can usually find, I mean, like tomatoes don't really freeze well, but like onions freeze well, bell peppers freeze well. We've even frozen carrots before. And fruits actually freeze well too, grapes and oranges. And so if you have fresh fruit and you think it's about to go bad, chop it up, lay it on a cookie sheet, put it in the freezer, and then put it in Ziploc bags, and there you've got your frozen fruit ready to go.
And do you talk about during the meal planning, like some people may not have time to actually sit and eat a meal, so you talk about how to do smoothies? I know smoothies were a big thing at one point, and they're kind of up and down, and, you know, people then were juicing, and now, so it's this combination of smoothies versus juicing, and so juicing can be very expensive, I've learned.
Yes, it's very expensive, and you might not necessarily be getting all the nutrients you need when you juice, but it's better than some things. So there's always levels, but we do have several smoothie recipes, and when they got popular, you know, some of the chain stores that are smoothie places, they add a lot of sugar and, you know, and
Yes.
Well, when we do our smoothies, we talk about how to add things in that still make it taste good, but it's not adding all the added sugar.
Okay. 'Cause I noticed at home, when I make them at home, like, this doesn't taste like,
It doesn't taste like what I've got at the store down the road. I'm not going to name their names, but, we all go there.
And so I end up adding, say, more fruit, like, say, apple or grapes, just to kind of add that sweetness in. I'm like, okay, this is still, but I drink it, it just doesn't taste the same.
Right.
So.
And there's certain fruits you can add to add a lot more sweetness that you don't really taste the fruit itself, but it'll add the sweetness. Or you can add some honey, or like if you use almond milk, you can use like a vanilla flavored almond milk, and or the vanilla flavored yogurt. So you're not really adding the sugar in, but you're adding the flavor in.
Okay, awesome. And so, what has been some of the feedback with the different groups that you go to when it comes to graduation time? What has been the feedback?
Usually, because everybody seems kind of intimidating, it's kind of sometimes hard to pull people in because they just see it and they get scared. But then after they go through it, they're like, "Can we have more classes? Can we do this program again?" They're wanting to continue on. What's the next step? What do you have left we can do? And they want to come back and be repeat visitors with us. So after they get in the program and see how fun it is and how easy it is to start incorporating things, they want to come back and do it again.
That is really awesome. So we're going to get ready for a break here soon. I want to say good morning to Mr. Frank Polsinski and Mr. Paul Holmes. Thank you for checking in. And for everyone else, please share this video. And if you're interested in having Miss Carlena and Miss Kim as your sidekick, have them coming out to your group and to do these series of lessons, please reach out to them. Again, they're with the University of Arkansas Division of Agriculture, Research, and Extension. The extension of it is, give us the address right quick.
Okay, it's 611 East Washington, Suite A.
All right.
And the easiest way to find us is everybody pretty much knows where the health department is. We are right next door to the health department.
All right. And so we'll be right back. So stay tuned. We'll have more discussion coming up. And then we'll bring Miss Maleigha on to talk about 4-H. So we'll be right back after these announcements.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
Did you know that 33% of kids in America grow up without their biological father? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. In the early 1990s, there was a national debate about whether fathers were important or not in their kids' lives. Of course, we all know that fathers play a huge role in their children's upbringing. We conducted and found many studies that clearly reveal that fatherless kids were more likely to live in poverty, do drugs, and have problems in school, just to name a few. Former NFL coach Tony Dungy and I talked about this serious issue and launched All Pro Dad in 1997, hoping to equip and encourage men to love their kids well. To read more about All Pro Dad and get free resources to help you in raising your kids, visit my blog at markmerrill.com. Remember, your family first.
Family Minute is made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a non-profit organization committed to service to all mankind. Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha on Facebook and KNOMEGA1908.com.
It's graduation season, and KLEK 102.5 FM is offering you an opportunity to congratulate or shout out that special graduate in your life for just $10 per message. The messages will air from May 1st through 25th at 7:31 a.m., 12:31 p.m., and 5:31 p.m. Proceeds go to help keep KLEK on the air. KLEK will also donate a portion of the proceeds to the Sonia D. Williams Scholarship Fund of the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. To sign up and purchase your greeting for that special graduate, visit our website at www.klekfm.org or call 870-277-1080. This event is a KLEK fundraiser.
KLEK thanks CJ Pepper and the staff of Life Strategies Counseling Incorporated for helping people through hard times in life such as depression, family issues, stress, abuse, and more. They offer counseling and therapy for all ages, individuals, families, and groups. They are located at 1217 Stone Street. Phone number 1-866-972-1268 or online at lscihelp.com.
Hello, I'm Officer Jonathan Hagens of the Jonesboro Police Department. One of the best decisions I ever made was to join the Jonesboro Police Department. Since joining, I've had the pleasure to give back, protect, and serve my community. Now I want to let you know about that same opportunity. The Jonesboro Police Department will conduct testing for the patrol officers at the Valley View High School. Applications are available online at jonesboropolice.com. The Jonesboro Police Department offers a competitive salary, health, and retirement benefits, top-of-the-line training, and most importantly, the chance to make a difference in the Jonesboro community. Join me in making Jonesboro a better place. The Jonesboro Police Department is an equal opportunity employer, and women and minorities are especially encouraged to apply. More information, 870-935-5657.
Applications are being accepted. Applications are available at jonesboropolice.com.
KLEK is starting a new fundraiser which will allow listeners to donate to KLEK while buying groceries. KLEK is a part of the Kroger Community Rewards fundraising program. When shoppers visit a participating Kroger and scan his or her Kroger Plus shoppers card, a portion of the savings goes back to KLEK to help keep it on the air. Details on how to sign up for the program are available at KrogerCommunityRewards.com and at KLEKFM.org. This is a KLEK fundraiser.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. My special guest today Miss Carlena Adams and Miss Maleigha Cook from the U of A Extension Office. I'm going to say the whole title. And Miss Carlena actually works with the FNEP program, which is the Expanded Food and Nutrition Education Program. And so we're going to get back into our discussion and wrap up some of the things that they discuss. And so let's go back. You mentioned before about My Plate. And so I know for a long time we used to use the pyramid to say how much of what food group to eat. So talk about the My Plate.
Okay. So when we were growing up, most of us, we had the food pyramid ingrained into our brain with the little levels, and then it went to diagonals. Well, when Miss Michelle Obama was the first lady, she really got into nutrition, and she told us, we don't eat off of a pyramid, we eat off of a plate.
Okay.
So the My Plate program has the 5 food groups in it, and it's kind of divided into quarters, and so you want to have your different sections like dairy, fruits, vegetables, grains, and protein. And so when we talk about My Plate and get into that and talk about how many servings each day you should have, like we want half the plate is fruits and vegetables. So each day we want to make sure half our plates is fruits and vegetables, because us as Americans, we tend to not get enough fruits and vegetables in our diet. Like you said, it's a texture, I gotta hide it, so we talk about ways to incorporate more fruits and vegetables. And in the grain section about getting away from processed grains and using like brown rice instead of white rice. And you really cannot taste the difference if you cook it right. And so we teach how to cook the rice and some of the staples. And then like proteins, like on a budget, sometimes if you go to the store and look at the meat section, you're just like, I'm overwhelmed. So different ways to get protein in, like using the beans and peas and different forms of protein without just cooking a pot of beans. It's so boring. About how to use them in recipes. We have an enchilada casserole that uses black beans, and it's amazing and it's good. It has 0 meat in it, but it's really good. You wouldn't know that it didn't have meat in it.
I think black beans are kind of the underutilized bean.
Yes.
And even sometimes the navy bean and there are quite a few other ones, but I think black bean, and then I'm seeing garbanzo beans,
Mm-hmm.
and then what's the one that's in hummus? Chickpeas.
Yes.
Is it technically a legume?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's very high in protein, and it's those things. If you've never used them before, they're scary. I mean, I was scared of black beans. I was like, I don't know what that's gonna taste like. My head told me that's burnt, or but they're really very tasty and good. So we talk about different recipes to use to incorporate those dry ingredients in, and also a lot. If you go to some of the food banks, or if you receive the box each month, it'll usually have a bag of some kind of beans in there. So we talk about recipes how to use those without just the boring pot of beans.
Okay. And then you mentioned earlier about I guess cooking from your pantry, seeing what you have on hand, and what can you make with that.
Yes. And this is kind of just my thing because I love to cook, and I have boys growing up, and it's always an army full of kids. So if you start with your pantry before you go to the grocery store, or even if you're just home and you have, okay, I have this can of vegetable and this can of beans, or if I have this in the fridge, we talk about what ways you can pull in those things into recipes and not have to go to the store, or you want to use up what you have before it runs, or you have to throw it away. And so just that's part of the budgeting part too, is cooking from your pantry and using up what you have.
I know some years ago I ran across a website that basically it was a recipe builder. You plugged in what you have on hand, and it gives you like this long list of possible recipes. So that might be something for people to start looking into. Like, and
on our app, the Eating Smart Being Active app, on the recipes, you can, in the search bar, you can put like chicken, and it'll pull up everything with chicken, or you can put kale, and it'll pull up things with kale. So it's a kind of a good search tool too.
Okay. And then another service that you all offer is Lunch and Learns.
Yes.
So tell us more about that.
So in part of our program, I know, just trying to think out of the box and to reach more people in Craighead County. Craighead County is a working county. You know, most everybody works, so we're open from 8 to 4:30. Well, I can't come to a class during the working day because I work. So we come to you. We bring everything with us. We have and we actually cook there. So we can come to your office or your place of business and do a lunch and learn for your employees or you, and it kind of teaches them health benefits. And I know a lot of insurance companies, like with their employees, if they have some kind of education. So we can provide the education hours with that to do lunch and learn. So we come to your office and do the lessons, and we can set them up weekly or monthly or however, and we can get it in 30 minutes or prefer, close to an hour, but about 30, 45 minutes we can do a lesson and have a recipe tasting during your lunch hour.
Awesome. Definitely have to reach out to you for that.
Yes.
All right, so we'll get into some more nutrition topics. I want to definitely bring Miss Maleigha in and talk about 4-H. I know there's been some exciting things happening, and when I say you stay busy, this lady stays busy. She's always got her hands on a chicken or a horse or doing something with the kids here and there. So tell us what's going on with 4-H.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, yes, we stay super busy. We're on the go all the time. And I jokingly tell people that our busy season is upon us. So pretty much from about February until October, we just never slow down. I mean, we're just in high gear. So, and it's exactly what you said. It's anything. We may be working with poultry one day, and we may be doing a program with Carlena with some of my youth members the next day. So, right? Oh, go ahead. Were you going to say something? No, I just start talking and I just keep talking.
Go ahead.
I've been in here several times, so I just kind of feel like I'm at home, and I just keep going and going until I see Quabila like flag me down in the back. So, right now, probably some of the biggest things that we have going on is it's competition season for us. So we just had our speaking competition. We just participated in the Farm Bureau Dairy Recipe Contest. We had our barbecue broiler contest at the county level, which I host, and then at the district level, which our state hosts 4 different competitions throughout the state. And I'm very happy to say that Craighead County won the junior broiler competition and the senior broiler competition and took second in turkey. So the 2 seniors will be getting to go to the State Poultry Festival in Rogers later this summer, and they really roll out the red carpet for those kids. And they get brand new grills, so they're all cooking on the same grill. They give them their hotel room. They pay for their poultry festival ticket. Whatever the headliner country star that sings for like the biggest concert there, they come in and do a private concert for the 4-H kids. And then the winner, I think it's first and second place of that competition, then move on to the National Poultry Federation cook-off. So it's really, really a neat opportunity. I've had kids qualify for it before, and they said it's one of the best opportunities in 4-H that they've had. So we're also gearing up. We have our fishing derby right around the corner. So we call it our Hot Summer Nights Fishing Derby. I used to do it on Saturday mornings, and we had pretty good turnout. And one year it rained us out. And I was like, you know what? It was going to rain like the next 3 Saturdays in a row or something. And I said, we're going to do it on a Friday. We're just going to do it Friday after school. And we had the biggest turnout ever, and the kids had more fun fishing in the evening than they did in the morning. The weather was a little bit better for us. And so what I started doing the last couple of years is I schedule on the very last Friday of school. So this year I think that makes it May 24th. It will start at 4:30. We'll run competitively. It will run until 7, and then by then we should have everything measured and weighed and counted for the different divisions. And of course we pair up with Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. They're amazing. They support us every year. And we're really excited. This year it's going to be at the ASU Pavilion. So if you're familiar with campus at all, over by the Alumni Center and across from the football field. You will find us there on May 24th, 4:30. Come on out. It's open to the public. We'd love to have you.
So do they stock the pond for the Derby?
They do, and they are amazing. They put 300 fish in for us every single year. So they will stock specifically for the 4-H Derby. But that particular pond, we're really excited, and a huge shout out to my alma mater, to ASU, because it took, I think, maybe an hour and a half and a couple of phone calls, and they immediately approved it, because this is a different venue than normal, but our last venue is not doing so well right now due to some construction in the area, so we needed a new spot. But they did I think it's 300 fish for us, and then I think he said they stock it 2 more times throughout the year, and they've been stocking it for years.
That's awesome. So the fish that you all don't catch, they just kind of hang out in the pond? Like
they do. They do, and that's actually last year, the venue that we'd been using, or that we've used previously, we typically have a really good catch right out of it. But, you know, it's impossible just about for the kids to catch 200 catfish or 300 catfish, whatever they choose to stock that year. And we had a kid pull a catfish out last year. And this, you know, I'm getting into my fishing stories, right? Everybody's got a fishing story. And I'm a country girl, and I live on a river, so I got lots of fishing stories. But we had a girl last year, and she pulled one out. And he was over 20. He was a little over 23 inches long. He was just about as long as the little girl that pulled him out on like her $13 Zebco. I'm not lying. And he was huge. And we figured he was probably a carryover from one of our first derbies several years ago. Yeah.
So how did she react?
Oh my gosh, I have pictures. If you scroll back to last year's Fishing Derby on Craighead County 4-H page, like us and join us. There's my plug. You can find Maddie and her 23+ inch catfish. Oh, wow. And Maddie is this adorable, she's one of my older 4-H kids now, but she's just adorable. But she's a pageant girl too, which just cracks me up, because she gets like the pageant stands and all of her pageant sequins, and then she actually outfished her brother that night. So she's all of about 5'1", and like I said, the fish was about bigger than she was. So she was ecstatic.
She is a
She's a multitasker. In 4-H, we say from stall to ball in 10 minutes. Okay. You can be mucking a stall out, and in 10 minutes, you can be total glam with glitter eyeliner.
Good
girl. I'm not joking.
Especially with Maleigha.
Oh, thank you. I teach them how to throw hay in heels. So.
Oh my goodness.
You don't have to have on boots to do that business, girls. Get up in that truck with those 3-inch pumps.
I need to hang out with you.
Come on.
We're learning all kind of life skills in 4-H.
Oh my goodness. And so with 4-H, it's not just all about the agri side.
Absolutely not.
So you have a lot of different other facets to the program. You know, growing up back in the 20 plus years ago, when we heard of 4-H, you know, which is you go to a little class, you know, you go to a little meeting, and
sure.
4-H didn't seem as exciting, I guess, at the time, and it's really transitioned over the years. So, can you tell us what the H's stand for?
Sure. So the H's stand for head, heart, hands, and health.
Okay.
And so those are the 4 major components that we believe kids really need to tap into and become well-rounded in to make not only just a better human, but a better citizen, a future professional, someone that is really going to give back to your community. It's not just about what can your local area or community do for you, but how can you help improve upon it? How can you contribute back to that? How can you be a good citizen? So that's what the H's stand for. And you're so right. You know, I tell people all of the time, I'll tell you, I'm 42. Well, I mean, I'm 19.
Plus some.
So, I mean, actually, I'm 23. No, really, I'm 42, and I started 4-H when I was 7. And I've been involved either as a volunteer or a member my entire life, or even I've gone back as a clinician for some of the equine clubs in the area. So it is not even the same club as when I was in 30 plus years ago. It has transitioned from what started out as truly an ag-based club that was designed for the universities to teach the children at the university, and then they taught the children that were at home, because a lot of your older farmers, they didn't want to hear what these new young whippersnappers at the university had to say, so they came back and they formed clubs and they taught the children, and so it transitioned. Wow. So it started out as Corn and Tomato Club, and today you have robotics, you have food. As a matter of fact, we'll be participating and hopefully we'll be going to the national competition. It's basically 4-H's version of Chopped, if you're familiar with some of the Food Network shows. But also, and I'm going to plug this because our DJ is one of my newest leaders, if you guys out there don't know. But we're very, very, very into sewing, and I have a lot of kids who are very interested. So Miss Quabila is going to start our first ever that I know of in Craighead County 4-H sewing club. And so first meeting for that will be at the extension office the fourth Saturday in May.
So which is the 20th? Well, no.
Is that the 25th, I believe? The day after the fishing derby.
Yes.
So, you know, I'm very much about doing things that are impactful for the children. I'm very big on public speaking. You have to know how to speak. You may not like to speak, but even if you don't like to speak, you have to know how to handle that.
Yes.
That's the difference between getting the job and not getting the job sometimes. Because you may not be speaking in front of a huge venue, but you may be speaking in front of a panel of 9 crotchety old men. Seriously. And you've got to know how to maneuver that and handle that. So I'm very big on things that create impact. Speaking, learning a skill like sewing, learning how to cook, learning how to weld, learning how to drive a tractor, learning how to garden. All of these things are truly impactful for a student, not just fun. I mean, we're all about having fun, and I think that we do, but I do want our kids to learn a sense of competition. Not everybody gets a trophy in real life. Sometimes you get beat. And I tell the kids, as long as you get beat by someone who is better than you, then you use that as a learning moment. Don't ever beat yourself because you didn't prepare. But learning how to get beat, learning how to compete, learning how to do a skill, these are all things that are impactful.
That is amazing. And they can take those skills learned with them in life, and they can make an impact in whatever community they live in.
That's correct.
They can in turn take those skills and that knowledge and empower someone else that's younger than them coming behind them. I love to see when people take what they've learned and pass it backwards, pay it forward, but also pass it backwards,
Absolutely.
To bring the next generation up so they're not lost and struggling by the wayside somewhere. So, and I feel like it's our responsibility,
It very much is. I hear one of the things that I absolutely, and I'm just going to say this, probably it's going to sound a little hard, that I despise to hear is, well, these kids just don't do anything these days. Or these kids are just not like the kids that were 20 years ago or 30 or 40 years ago. No, I'm pretty sure they are. And they are doing things that are fantastic. We just have to look out there and see it. I have a young 4-H member. This is 3 years into her project, and she has raised almost 4,000 pounds of food for the local Helping Neighbors pantry, food pantry. She started that program when she was 6. Kim Huffman's son Colby has raised over 1,000 coats in his Kobe's Coats for Kids. He does that every year for his birthday, so in lieu of birthday presents, because it falls in December. And he actually makes sure himself that they get to a family in need. Like the counselor will call Kim and say, hey, I have family A, B, and C. These are their sizes. Wow. And Kobe will match those up. So for those adults out there that say, well, these kids just don't know. They just don't do anything. They're just not giving back. They're just not. I don't know when the last time was that you helped hand out 1,000 coats, but until you've done that.
Yeah, so it's a matter of what are we doing to encourage and empower the kids versus saying what they're not doing. What are you doing to help the cause?
Right. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Be an encourager. You know, get out there. The youngsters, for instance, Kyle and Kobe, in reality, these are minors that are not old enough to drive. If they don't have a parent, or they don't have an agent, or they don't have a family member that's behind them, they can have all of these great ideas, but they have to have help at this age utilizing that and doing that.
So we want them to be productive and better citizens of this world. We have to start planting the seeds now and encouraging them to get out and get away from the video games. And you know, that's fine to have a little fun, a little downtime, but
absolutely.
At the same time, it's still something else in them.
Yes.
And so hopefully, you know, through that, it would help. It would encourage them to be a more well-rounded person that take better care of their health, because they'll then have the energy to go and do these other projects. And again, going back to the 4 H's, the H's, their thought process will be better. Their heart, you know, how can I say, spiritually, and not necessarily religious, but just spiritually. They'll be better people. They'll use their hands to complete projects and, again, increase overall health. So
that's right.
Probably screwed that all up.
No, actually, that's dead on.
Well, and I want to add something where you're talking about teaching them to speak or be in front of people. As my kids have gotten older and things, they don't know how to call and make doctor's appointments or any of that stuff. So it teaches them how to be able to speak to people.
Oh, wow. We're going to take a quick break. Okay. When we come back, we're going to wrap up our discussion. I always love Miss Maleigha coming. I'm so happy Miss Carlena joined us this time. But we're discussing all things between nutrition and 4-H Club. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after these announcements.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. If you're like most of us, you have debt. Debtors Anonymous, an organization that helps consumers struggling with debt, lists the following signs that you might have a serious problem. You are overworking or under-earning. You forego or deny your basic needs in order to pay off your creditors. You feel the need to be rescued, hoping that someone will take care of you so that you won't get into serious financial trouble, or looking for someone you can turn to bail you out of trouble. If any of these describe you, accept that you may have a serious problem with chronic debt and take action now to address the problem. Check out debtorsanonymous.org for resources, including help identifying a debt support group to join. Finally, face up to and explore the emotional issues that drive your spending decisions and your feelings about money, whether in a debt support group or via one-on-one counseling with a licensed therapist. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization focused on joy in our sisterhood, power in our voice, and service in our hearts. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. 5 locations in Jonesboro to serve you. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
Support for KLEK is brought to you by...
While attending college, I worked at a local supermarket in Paragould. I did everything from stacked soda bottles to working in the produce. Mike Gaskell worked with me back then, and when he's in front of a crowd, he refers to me as not always being in the car business, but a cabbage head trimmer extraordinaire. He gets a kick out of that. I still meet people that I worked with and waited on the grocery business. A good experience. Now you know how I started. Glenn Sane, and God bless our troops.
The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated was established on January 1st, 1977, originally serving Blytheville, Arkansas, and now serving Jonesboro, Blytheville, Osceola, Marion, and West Memphis, Arkansas. Today, the chapter continues to make an impact by focusing on Alpha's national community outreach initiatives such as My Brother's Keeper, A Voteless People is a Hopeless People, Go to High School, Go to College, Project Alpha, Boy Scouts, and the March of Dimes. The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is committed to Alpha's mission of developing leaders, promoting brotherhood and academic excellence, while providing service and advocacy to the community. More information about the Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is available at MOL Alphas on Facebook or via email at molalphas@gmail.com.
This portion of KLEK programming can be made possible by your business. Your support will help in educating, entertaining, and empowering the community by supporting local talent, serving the community you love, and providing information on issues you care about from a different perspective. Call 870-203-9951 or visit klekfm.org to learn how we can help connect you more with the community, or visit us at 1411 Franklin Street. KLEK 102.5 Jonesboro, educating, entertaining, and empowering the community.
Experience the joy with Bishop Adrian R. Rogers, pastor of Fullness of Joy Church, 2120 Thorn Street, Jonesboro, Arkansas, 72401. Wednesday night, Word and Worship, 7 p.m. Prayer Thursday night at 7 p.m. Sunday School, 9:30 a.m. Sunday morning worship, 11 o'clock a.m. And our Sunday night live service at 7 p.m.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM with my special guests, Miss Carlena Adams and Miss Maleigha Cook from the, I want to say Extension Office. Extension Office in 4-H Club. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
Killing me. No, it's funny.
Like, that's a mouthful to say over and over again. All right, so we've been talking about nutrition, 4-H, and horses and fishes, and not fishes, fish. And poultry, everything in between. So, Ms. Maleigha, you wanted to add another, we were talking about something else before we went to break. So,
yes, well, we were just talking about, being impactful and teaching these youth members skills and things that are going to benefit them later in life. And so, Camila and I talked recently on the telephone, and we were just talking about the things that you learn when you're young that you don't realize are truly going to benefit you when you're older. So we were joking, saying everybody kind of needs a side hustle these days to make a little money. And so that kind of led us to talking about skills and things that we learned as a young kid. And so I actually, when I graduated, I moved to Florida for 8 years. And I can tell you, I've ridden horses my whole life. And when I was 9 years old and I was pretending that I was a Sioux Indian trick rider bareback on my pony out in the back, where my mother couldn't see me or I would not be here today. I didn't realize that literally 20 years down the road that same little Sioux Indian trick rider would be a professional hunter-jumper instructor on the East Coast in Florida. So that skill that I learned as a kid and that my parents made possible and 4-H made possible for me, it wasn't just a side hustle, it was my career, and it paid all of my bills. So we've talked about you being a seamstress. You were just talking about altering some things for prom, and that's a very lucrative business for you as well. So I think joining any youth organization, particularly 4-H, where we stress on learning life skills like sewing or writing or welding which is the new big thing in 4-H, by the way, now.
Really?
Yes, cooking correctly, not just throwing stuff together, but using food science, using knowledge of your ingredients, using kitchen safety. All of these things. My daughter will tell you right now, I mean, I'm convinced she's going to be a doctor or a lawyer. She wants to own a cupcake shop. Working on that. So there's probably people that own cupcake shops that make a lot more money than either one of those. But, I love it because we watch things like Nailed It and all the baking shows. And she's like, ugh, I cannot believe Sharon thought that was going to turn out with gluten-free flour. And I'm like, you're 10. How do you know that? And she's like, I'm just telling you it's not going to turn out. Well, 20 minutes later, Sharon's cupcakes flop. No, I'm not saying because they were gluten-free. I'm just randomly picking something. But, me on the other hand, I'm like, it just kind of all looks the same. And she's like, gross, Mom. So these skills that they're learning, I'm digressing, but the skills that they're learning, we want those to be impactful because you never know if it's going to be a fun side hustle or if it's just going to be a fun hobby later in life or if it's going to simply pay the bills someday.
Yes.
So.
And then what the skills they're learning in 4-H is helping them to become very innovative, critical thinkers.
Sure.
As we know, technology and things are changing rapidly.
Absolutely.
And so we don't take our kids now and steal something in them now, then they're going to kind of be left to depending on others who are making the changes.
Yes.
And so we want them to be a part of the change process.
That's right.
We want them to have the big, bright ideas and, submit their proposals to whoever they work for, whatever is going on. And we want them to be the one getting those patents and whatever else is out there.
It's funny that you mentioned that because, yes, I want leaders. I want innovators. I want thinkers. I want kids who are not afraid to step outside of the box because in reality that's where some of the greatest ideas come from. I want kids who are not afraid to fail, and I was just speaking to a professor about this the other day. So many of our kids today are afraid to fail because so much is expected of them at an early age. So if they fail, they fall apart. They don't know what to do. You have to have a plan B and you need a plan C for plan B. So I want them, there's a program called VEX Robotics, and one of the innovators that began that, his quote was, students need to learn to fail forward. They need to fail forward, fail up. So if I want to teach them, if let's say your idea doesn't work, your first innovation doesn't work, your first patent doesn't get approved, then that's fine. Why did it not? Have plan B ready and move forward with that. So that's what we want out of this program.
All right, awesome. And so I want to ask Miss Carlena kind of the same similar question. When you're talking with these families about nutrition and things, have you ever heard from any of the kids that they may want to be chefs or cooks on a professional level?
Yes. It's the kids seem to get the most excited, because they're actually getting to touch things or cut things up, or instead of being in the back in the kitchen. And so we bring them forward to learn how to, if they're going home from school, cooking for a little bit, and their sister, mom and dad are still at work, or feeding them a snack. We teach them how to make something healthier that tastes good, that's not just like a box of junk food or Little Debbie's or whatever. Nothing wrong with Little Debbie's. Well, there are, but just
we're gonna talk about that.
Something better than junk or processed food. And then the kids start, showing mom and dad, hey, this is so much easier. And then mom and dad then start asking questions. Okay, they are learning this. Tell me more. How can we incorporate? So yes, the kids do really bring it forward for the parents a lot of times. And, a lot of the parents are like my age, like Maleigha's, we're in our mid-40s, and we grew up with...
Mid-30s?
Yeah, we grew up with both parents working, so we had to learn how to cook, and a lot of it was, I grew up on hamburger helper and frozen Totino's pizzas, but that's what we learned, because that's what we could, or you pizza bites or something in the microwave, and so we need to break that habit and get back into fresh fruits and vegetables and foods that are healthy and nutritious.
All right, so if you would love to learn more, contact Miss Carlena. And if you would love to learn more about 4-H, contact Miss Maleigha. They're both in the same office.
Yes.
And so give us that phone number right quick.
It is 870-933-4565.
Okay.
And we also have a Facebook page for FNEP. So if you just search for Cricket County FNEP, and I'll go back in here and put a link on for us after we get done. And so we also have a Facebook page.
Same thing for 4-H, Cricket County 4-H.
All right. So
Blackish, join us.
There you go. Thank you all so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
And thank you everyone out there for listening. I hope you've learned a little bit, and reach out to these ladies to invite them to your groups, and hopefully we see more kids joining 4-H. So, all right. I hope everyone has a great and blessed day. Tune in tomorrow at 9 a.m. And don't forget about Bible study at 8 a.m. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro